Pretty soon the leaves will be popping. They won't look like that anymore. And when the leaves are popping and the sun is out and the spring is here, you'll say, man, that is music to my ears. And you would be wrong. Now, I know that I've been beating that horse to death. Roll the intro. So exactly what do I mean by all of this? Well, I want you to use your thinking caps. Let's imagine for a moment that you've just come out of a long, dark, and did I mention long, Northeast Ohio winter. Now, I don't want to get into a weather contest about who has the coldest winters. What I'm saying is here in Northeast Ohio, somebody keeps forgetting to pay the sun bill, and we lose it from the middle of October to the middle of April. Now imagine for a moment that you've gone through this long winter and you're walking in the woods and the leaves have popped, the sun is out, there's a warm breeze, and you're listening to the rustling of the leaves in the wind, and you would say to yourself, man, that is music to my ears. Well, it would seem so, but not really. Now, stick with me on this. You know, all sounds are made from vibrations, and our brains are nothing more than supercomputers that count vibration patterns. And through a process called psychoacoustics, it tells us whether or not the sound we're hearing is of benefit to us, if it's a dangerous thing to us, or if it's a pleasurable thing to us. And you know, everything that you can see and that you can't see in this universe is made up of atoms, made up of matter. And you can think of atoms as like little BBs or little pool table balls that if you stuff them together in certain combinations, they create matter, which would be the air that we breathe, the water we drink, or again, the very chair that I'm sitting on right now. Think of it this way. As you talk, you're pushing air past your vocal cords, causing them to vibrate. Now, they push against their neighbors, the molecules, and those molecules get pushed against their neighbors, and you create this chain reaction of a sound wave that eventually reaches the ear. Now, it looks very much like if you were to drop something into a pool of water and you see the rings radiate outward. And that sound wave reaches our ears. Our eardrums will vibrate in unison. And then through a process of psychoacoustics, the brain says, oh, that's someone singing or that's someone talking to you. And if what they have to say is of benefit, perhaps you should listen. And you know, we really do need to have those skills. I'm going to give you an example of how psychoacoustics will help you. Let's talk about two different sounds. Let's talk about the sound of a nearby grizzly forcing molecules angrily across its vocal cords. Now, think about your bride who's at a distance and she's angrily forcing molecules across her vocal cords, angry with you because you forgot to take out the garbage. Now, psychoacoustics will help you get a read on that situation and make a proper decision because you know full well one of those you're going to pet and feed salmon. The other one, you're going to run away from like your life depends on it. You see, psychoacoustics help us to determine everyday sounds that are of benefit to us, like somebody's at my back door. Now somebody's at my front door. Probably bill collectors. Psychoacoustics will also help us with what we refer to as a musical event. What's a musical event? The sound of a violin string being bowed. Or how about a guitar string being plucked? But there's a rule. Wait for it. Wait for it. So the rule is, according to psychoacoustics, for there to become what we call a musical event and not just a sound, there has to be a fixed, constant, and steady vibration pattern. That is until it decays. So take, for example, the number 5 string on this guitar. When I pluck it, it produces an A tone or an A note. And if it's properly tuned, it will vibrate 110 times per second until it decays and loses energy and stops vibrating altogether. Now, it's the process of psychoacoustics where you didn't even have to see me do that, but hear it, and the brain says, oh, that's a musical event, that's a guitar. Some of us can say, that's a musical event, that's a guitar that just got plucked, and it's an A. Some people with perfect pitch, you've heard of that before, right? Well, let me take you back to the beginning of this video. Although the sound of leaves after a cold, dark winter are a pleasurable experience when they're blowing in the wind of a warm summer day or a warm spring day, that is a pleasant sound. According to psychoacoustics, it's not a musical event. Why? Because they undulate at the whim of the wind. They go fast, they go slow, or not at all, depending on what the wind tells the leaves to do. So we're going to use this principle in future videos, that musical notes, if you take nothing else away, musical notes have a fixed and steady vibration pattern in the universe. You can even say they have an address in the universe. You want some tea? Okay, full disclosure. If there were birds in that scenario, if the birds were singing during the leaves being blown about, that would in fact be a musical event, because birds do sing constant and steady vibration patterns. They sing musical notes. All the best.